Hello everybody, welcome back to part 5 of this playthrough. Apologies, it's been a while. It's been one of those moments where literally something always seems to come up every time I'm trying to do another video. So literally I haven't had the chance. And not just that, but also there has been an update. So that also caused a huge problem as well, because the update changed a lot of things and basically ruined my previous playthrough. So I've had to restart again and rebuild everything, because literally everything went Pete Tong, went absolutely everywhere. Nothing seemed to be working. Electricity was just minus everything. O2 was it just everything was a mess. So literally I've had to restart again and build it again, based on the update and what the update has done to certain things, because it completely changed the dynamic. So I had to work it completely different. So what I'm really going to do in this video is I'm going to talk to you guys about the update and all the sort of the pros and cons of the update. Some of it's really good, and some of it, I mean, for the instance of the fact that I've had to completely redo the playthrough again, not so good. But there are some positives to it. So what I'll do is I'll start with, if I can just find it. Right, so part 1 of the update. So before, if you had fauna you were looking for, and you've found all these, so you just set your light up and then you found all these lovely little faunas here to sit there and basically mine or take with your fauna trap. You used to have to put a trap on to work out exactly what they were, and whether they were worth sitting there and putting a trap on in the first place. Now you can just click on it and it will actually tell you exactly what it is each time. So it will do that constantly now. So literally everything will give you all the pros and cons of each fauna, so you don't actually have to worry about that at all. So that's good. So that means you can save time building, so you don't have to worry about, oh, do I like mine these, do I not? So you can literally just click on it and go, nah, I don't need that, I'm just going to whack a biomass generator on there, or I'm going to whack a molecular protein plant on there. I don't have to worry about it, or I can just go with the fauna trap. You know, you don't have to sit there and do a fauna trap first to work out if these are worthwhile or not. So that saves you a lot of time. So another part of the update which is decent is that these are completely, you can bring them back over time. So these work out pretty nicely. But what these do as well, so I think it's probably easier if I talk about this. So they slightly changed the marine stabilizers. So the marine stabilizers no longer sit there and replenish fauna. They don't do that anymore. So what they do is they will get to a point where they run low and they will stop the reproduction of fauna. So they'll stop you taking from fauna and stuff like that, and basically will prevent you from running it dry, which is good, I suppose, in some senses, but it is a pain in the neck. The other bit is as well is you can sit there and actually not lose fauna by building on things like moleculars, protein plants and biomass generators. So before, you used to plonk one of these on there and then that would be it. You can no longer use the fauna. That's it, it's done. So now that's not the case anymore. So you could delete this, for example, and I can still use it. So I could use that for that exact reason. I'm hoping I can rebuild that, because otherwise there's definitely going to be a problem. So I'm just going to rebuild that quick. Cool. So while that's doing that, so that's a positive. So you no longer lose the fauna anymore. You can constantly regain it and get it back. So that's not an issue. Okay, so yeah, so that's all of that basically in a nutshell. So that's all of that. So you can constantly rebuild and regain all this stuff, but what this does, which can be problematic, is that these will also drain fauna over time. So if you look at this one, for example, you can see that it's actually using fauna to regain, to use as a generated output. So over time, if you don't have one of these there, that's just going to drain it down, and your generator output is literally going to run down to nothing. So your generators and your molecular protein labs need to have a stabilizer near it to keep it running, otherwise it's just not going to work. So yeah, you absolutely need those, otherwise it's going to cause a lot of problems. So that could cause a significant amount of problems as well, which is why my previous playthrough caused a lot of issues, because you needed these everywhere, and you're so used to building without these. If you know you're going to put one of these on there or one of them on there, that you just sat there and went, right, okay, cool. You didn't have a lot of these, so that's why I had to restart. So that would be a negative. So that you now need to basically build these everywhere. Everywhere there's fauna, everywhere you're going to use something like a power plant or something like that, you need to have one of these guys on every single one of these. Otherwise it's just not going to work. And you're just going to find yourself in a world of problems. So, and this is the last part I'll talk about the update before we'll wrap up on this. So you can replace fauna, so you can replenish fauna. It doesn't mean that it's gone forever once you've used it. But what they've done now is they've now added this little guy, the Marine Restorator, which is an add-on to add on to the side or to an open space on your stabilizers, and this will basically replenish the fauna constantly, over and over and over, and it will basically continuously keep rebuilding it. So it will build it, and it just does that constantly. So you will find that you will use that, and I'm actually noticing now that we're starting to develop problems, which I'm not sure why that is. So this isn't free, so this is something you're going to have to go and get in the tech tree, which is located in the magnifying glass, and it is right here, the Marine Restorator. I think it only costs 60, so that's not bad, but it is in tier 2, so it's not something you're instantly going to get. You are going to have to sit there and grind a bit before you can get this. So fauna isn't going to be easy from the start. You are going to have to sit there and grind a little bit and gain some points first before you can start using that. But it generally is quite good. So I'm going to build one on here just to show you. So yep, there we are, and then I'm going to plonk it on there. Done. So I'm going to wait for that to build. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. Cool, so that's done. So that's been built. So now you can see the octopus is being replenished, which is good. Which is good stuff, and then that's just going to do that gradually over time, and then that's not going to be an issue. Cool, so that shouldn't be an issue now. So look, that's gradually going to rebuild the rough octopus, so that's expanding. The rosefish is okay, because as I say, it's got 12 out of 14, so this consistently replenishes it. So you should find that you never run low, you should never run out, and that goes the same across the board. So this will constantly rebuild, and you basically, it just won't decrease the output that you need or have. I mean, at the moment it's obviously called to -12, but that's because there's people missing, which has caused a problem. And it looks like, I think, a lot of my engineers have died, which is not particularly great. But never mind that. But just for the purpose of this video, that's basically that in a nutshell, pretty much. So that's going to be it, guys, for this video, because I just really wanted to run through the update with you and go through all of that, and just so you understood why there's been a bit of a gap between part 4 and part 5. And just some quite good bits of update, probably not so good on some bits as well, but it's a balancing act, so it's all got to be balanced one way or another. So yeah, that's that, and I say I will see you in for part 6. Cheers, guys.